buy it by the box of gallons, so I have a huge stockpile of this. I'm not going to count it as part of the budget because it's just cleaner. But you can also pressure wash it without cleaner. And if you don't have a pressure washer at home, stop on the way home at a car wash and pay $5 and use a self-serve pressure washer. You can already see it working, man. I'm hosing this whole thing down with this stuff. This mower is dirty. Check it out, all clean. It's now time here filming with no cameraman, and it is less than 24 hours later. My phone is blowing up. People want to buy this thing really bad. It helps that it's springtime, but I've had like 10 people offer me full price. Some people want it delivered, but I have this one guy who's blown up my phone all day long. And I eventually just told him, sure, come buy it now. Because he wanted it so bad, he's on his way. Cameraman's not even here. We're gonna load it up, and I'm gonna sell it for full price. I mean, who wouldn't buy this thing after its masterful detail? This thing still runs good, too. Check it out. Never had to charge a battery again. Chevy Avalanche. I don't know. That's all. Now, I would have liked to film a little bit more of the sale, but it's 8:30 at night, and I couldn't really get any footage in the dark. But that guy loaded that Craftsman up into his Avalanche, which I didn't know could fit a lawnmower, but I can, and paid full price for it. $480 officially going in the jar. Maybe by the end of the video, this will be full of cash.
12 seconds later.
Continuing the challenge. I am alone today. I am my own cameraman. Finally found something worth investing my 495 current dollars that we are sitting at, and it involves a little bit of help. Yes, that's right. I'm using my utility trailer. I'm doing this because I found one guy selling 2 riding mowers, and we've negotiated a package deal, and if I didn't have a trailer, I'd have to make 2 trips, and I don't want to do that. It's time and money, so I'm using the tools I got. If you were in my boat, I'd say, hey, you just got to make 2 trips, but I don't, so we're currently on our way to pick up 2 riding mowers for $250. Just like that. 2 more riding mowers. Now we just got to get them back to the shop and see what they need. Treasures, money-making treasures.
Sure.
These are 2 Craftsman lawnmowers. One's a little older, one's a little newer, but they both run, drive, and cut. They are horrendously dirty, and they might need batteries, but we're going to try our best to fix them on the cheap. Before I do that, I need to get them off the trailer and I need to clean them because they are so nasty. I don't want to touch them. They're so nasty. $450 for 2 mowers. That ain't bad, is it? Let's see if they start after sitting on the trailer for an hour. No, that battery appears to be bumping dead. Might have the same problem as the first mower, though, which I am hopeful of, but for now, let's just get it. How about this one? Oh, well, there's a chance we might need 2 batteries. We only have $45 left, I think. I don't know if that one are still $20 each at Walmart, but we might have to find out. Before I soak these in cleaner and rinse them off, I'm just getting the major bits of grass off the decks. And also I'll be rinsing the decks continuously forever. They will never clean up. I can already tell these 2 mowers are going to need more love than the first one that we struck gold on, but that's okay. It's part of the fun. This is going to be awful, but just like the Craftsman, I'm going to soak them in this tire cleaner, and it's going to be perfect when they're done. I wish I had parked these away from each other. Just like that, after completely soaking myself with the pressure wash, these lawnmowers are a whole lot cleaner. I'm gonna let them dry off the sun of your day, and we'll be back to this very soon. See you then. Now we're going to actually start fixing these mowers, and I know immediately by looking at them that they are far rougher than that green tractor we started the video with. That was like a gold mine that just needed a pressure wash. These ones need some repair and they need some paint. Number one issue I can see is both decks are out of level. On this larger but older Craftsman, the deck is lower in the front, which means it needs adjustment in the front. This newer but obviously rougher Craftsman, the deck is off level to the side and it's also missing a wheel. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. Figure it out. Now I think I'm going to start with this one because it's going to be easier to fix everything wrong with it. I'm going to fix this one first, see if we can charge the battery in the terminals like last time, but if not, we're going to have to get a battery, get it going. I know both of them run and cut. It just needs synchronized pneumatic. Now I'm starting on the older but bigger Craftsman, leveling the deck in the front. That leveling comes from this rod right here that kind of keeps the deck in the air. As you can see, when you tighten the rod up, it lifts the deck up more, but it's all worn out. I'm pretty sure over the years, the hole that this rod fits in has just bored itself out and gotten loosey-goosey, but thankfully, there is adjustment in the rod itself. So if you remove the rod, you can see there's some extra threads right there, and we can go put it in the vise, crank it down, and see if it fits a little bit better. I'm sure I put this in the vise, and then squirting some WD on the threads, and then taking my trusty impact, loosening the one nut, and tightening this main adjuster here. Now, I'm just going to crank this down onto all the threads that it has, then we're going to put it back in the mower and see if it raised the deck. That right there, that's all she wrote. That was actually a lot of adjustment, more than I expected. So hopefully, that gets the deck nice and level. We can obviously loosen it to adjust it properly. But I'm going to put it in, see what happens. Put it back, loosened it up. Now we're getting pretty close. Oh, look at that. We're already back in the air. Now I'm going to kind of permanently install this again. Then we can adjust it while the deck is attached. Clips back in place. And let me just get this all level around. So we make sure the deck adjustment is not skewed by the low higher. And perfect. After a little bit more adjustment on that nut, we are 3 inches off the ground all the way around. So this deck is nice and level. So now I'm going to put the lock nut back on that rod. We'll move on. I'm calling the deck fine. The blades look good. They're tight. The belt looks fine. The deck is level. So now I'm going to hope that we have the same battery. As you can see, that starter terminal is pretty corroded. I think this one might actually need a battery. That's not nearly as bad as it green. Just a little bit of sandpaper on there. I do not have much confidence that this is going to fix this mower. Let's try. Now I know it'll start and run, but hopefully the battery holds some sort of charge. Ran it for about 1 minute. See if the battery held the charge. No, I think it needs a battery. But that's fine, because we have $45 in the budget, so I can at least afford one battery for now. Because I don't think they're still $20 like they were 3 years ago at Walmart. Leave that on the side for a second. Tackle this one. The deck is far worse. Now the deck on this mower has groove both in the front and to this side that's missing a wheel. So I've already adjusted the front a little bit tighter to raise the deck up. I haven't measured it yet. And I'm also adjusting this deck adjuster because the only height adjuster for the side is in the rear. So hopefully that will raise it up enough that we can get it pretty level. It's very simple. I'm just taking your wrench and tightening it, and it's very slowly raising the deck up. Let me check this one. 3 inches. 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches? 3.5 inches. Alright, so we're at 3.5 inches everywhere but that front corner, which is not great. I've got this incredibly close right now. It is basically 3.5 inches off the ground. On the money, all the way around. Any 1/8-inch discrepancy is not going to be noticeable on blade of grass. That's good enough. Now I have the mowers in the shop. I'm going to repair the decks. This old one here is broken in this spot. Not super major, easy to be welded. And this new one, as we've seen, is missing a wheel and has a hole right there. So if you don't have a welder, obviously you can paint up the decks and sell the machines with the obvious imperfections. I have a welder and I have the capability, so I'm going to zap those up real quick, make them look a lot better, And now we can prep the next paint. First, let me cut off this broken portion right here. Check me out. It's not so beautiful right now, but it'll be fixed. I've made a very quick and dirty cardboard template for a patch pen. Random piece of steel flat stock I have. And just like that. Right. That ain't gonna be bad when it's done. Boom. One lawnmower deck repair. Time for it done. This one ought to be really, really simple. There we go. Masterful repair by yours truly. Now, before we get to the batteries and beautification process, Matrix one more thing with this newer Craftsman, that is very, very loose blade on one side. Hoping the bolt just came loose. And I'm fearing the spindle is a problem. This blade, dangerous loose, as in about to fly off. Yikes. Can't knock that bolt off real quick. First, I can hopefully knock it off. Yep. Examine it, and I see that it looks perfectly fine. The blades mount on these little splines that are on the end of the threads. The threads themselves look perfectly fine. The splines look fine, so I think that bolt would just come loose. But because I have the mower jacked up, I have one blade off. I may as well sharpen it. It's super easy. My method of choice is a flat disc and a vise. This can also be done in a bed sander like this. Super simple. Basically, I just stand along the edge of the blade on both sides. Try to keep it flat on the flat side and curved on the curved side. Basically, you want to get it so sharp that you can kind of catch your thumb on it. And I can cut a steak with that. Now, after spending $0, I can say the mower has sharpened blades. It's really very simple. I'm usually just too lazy to juggle the mower to do it. Blades are both sharp, blades are both tight. This thing is no longer gonna play a blade off like a knife at 100 miles an hour. Beautification and balance. For paint prep, I'm not going crazy at all. Hit this with the wire wheel to A, knock loose paint off, and B, knock rust off. I'm doing that just to prep it, make the paint lay down, stick better, but you can also sell these without painting them if it's not in the budget. You just might lose $100 or so. It doesn't look quite as good. Now, I'm really hoping Walmart will sell 2 batteries for $45. I think it's going to be close. I don't know if they're as cheap as they used to be when I did this kind of full time. I'm going to take them both to Walmart as quarters. Cross my fingers that I can get cheap batteries. While I do that, cameraman's going to help me out with the paint prep. Then we'll be back and we'll hopefully have these both done and ready to list today. At the very least, I'll have 1 battery and we'll have 1 ready to list today. I'm at Walmart. Really hoping that the batteries are cheap. Like I remember when I haven't bought a whole battery here in years, so let's see. And the verdict says, damn, the price has gone up $8 since the last time I bought one of these. I guess we can only get one at a time. $30 later, I have 1 brand new battery. You know, to come back to get the other one, because my budget is $15. Hooked right up. Now I only have $15 and change left jar. But I do have 1 battery, which is enough to get 1 mower listed, so let's do just that. Now, these are not Lamborghinis, and these are not classic cars, so I am not going super crazy on the prep work. Cameraman hit him with the wire wheel. We hit him with a degreaser once again, and now this is just regular prep walk. We're not really scuffing them, because the paint is going to stick just fine. And it's not like these have serious rust pitting or anything. This is just for aesthetics, so we're going to shoot them in the same color that they should be, and then we're going to list for sale, or 1, because I only have 1 battery. Start with the big... over here, because I just got the regular black spray cabinet. It's all prepped up. Come on. Probably we need to create shorts. well. It also designs really well. Now, obviously, this is incredible because we didn't make any effort to smooth out the paint chips or anything like that. So our goal is not to show tractor out. So also prepped up the muffler area here. The heat shield's a little better. But it's not rusty down. That was really big deal. A little bit of extra elbow grease to make the motor look a lot better. A very quick hand polish does a lot. I have just some random polish that we have on the shelf and this microfiber. I'm just gonna rub it into the paint a little bit. Not gonna go crazy with it, but maybe the top of the hood and maybe the fenders if I really feel like it, but the hood alone will make the most difference. And if you have a buffer, you can make very quick and easy work of this with a better result, but I'm trying to do things as easy as possible. Clean side of the bag. Hey, is this thing fresh? A hell of people? Or is it something we just polished up? Look at that new machine. Just like that. 1 minute later, this mower's looking awesome. I'm gonna douse the wheels up in some tire shine, but because we've got this paint detailed so beautifully and it's all fixed up, it's gonna be the one to list because I was only able to buy one battery. $30 later, one brand new battery in one refurbished lawnmower. Sure, the front tires leak a little bit. Sure, we didn't sharpen the blades to give the tune up, but as long as I don't buy them, we have them on a sale. This Craftsman is a larger machine. It has a 54-inch deck and it has a 26 horsepower V12. Both of those are very good selling points on top of the fact that it has a heavy-duty rear end, which you can tell because it has mounted wheels like that. So this is a heavy-duty mower, and back in my frequent mower sales days, these were...
Hello, this is 911. What emergency service do you require?
...a piece, but because this was not...
Thank you. Paramedics are en route to your current location.
650, and we'll see how it goes. I bet you it sells fast. It is only running on one cylinder. Well, that throws a bit of a wrench in the plans. It's fine, but this is happening now after we've listed it, so I'm going to track down why it's only running on one cylinder. I can tell that because it fell down on power, and I noticed it sounded like a one-cylinder engine. And then to confirm, I touched either pipe briefly. Be very careful if you try that at home. That side is scalding hot. This side I can hold on to without any discomfort, which means it is not firing this cylinder. Now it could be a multitude of things. It could be something as simple as an ignition coil being unplugged, or it could be a balance train problem, or a broken piston or rod or something catastrophic like that. However, we can start anything. Just pop off the battery. First thing to do is plug out the plug. It looks flawless. So don't think that's the issue. You see what I'm doing? Alright, big organ number 2. Valve train looking just fine. I've already had a back rod, something with a mount where it needs to be, but that looks exactly how it should. So pop that right back on. Edge covers all come off super easily, and just about every motor is exactly the same. All you gotta do is stick a bunch of little bolts out. You can see which little bolts cover them. After a bunch of 8 millimeter bolts are removed, it's awesome. Anything visibly wrong here? The next simple thing I can do here is clean out the magnet of the flywheel. That's what we fix the ignition coil. I ran it down this front. If this ignition coil is still firing, it's very easy to take some sandpaper. That is a lot better than it was. Now I can also take the plugs off, clean up the terminals, the ignition coils. Now, once again, check the spark. If there is spark, I'll crank it. We'll warm off the battery at the end. Okay, looks like it needs an ignition. Just be sure you're going to unbolt both ignition coils and switch them. Just make sure that problem carries over to this side, this side. They look to be the exact same ignition coil. Take this one out, and this one. Switch the sides. Bada bing, bada boom. Now if all goes right, the bad